Southeast Screen, we're here talking to Charles Fishman, who is the author of The Big Thirst. Charles, we've had a great event today, and we're really excited to have you in Atlanta. I wanted to ask you, where do you think Atlanta's next steps need to be?
I think Atlanta is doing a good job of starting the conversation about smarter water management, coming out of this 20-year-long fight over water resources in Lake Lanier and coming out of 2 big droughts in 10 years. There's a much heightened awareness of the importance of water and the challenge of managing water more smartly. What I would hope would happen is that the business and political and water leadership in the community will say, okay, we're not having a crisis right now. We're not facing a crisis right now. Now is a time to really take a step back and figure out what kind of water culture we want to have in Atlanta and what we need to do to get there, not in terms of the next crisis or in terms of a year from now. What do we want the water culture of Atlanta to look like 20 years from now? And what do we have to do to get there?
So you gave us a lot of great examples of cities and how they had solved their challenges, but because we're a region, do you have any advice for sort of the region perspective?
Well, I think there are a couple of important things. I think the water utilities are sort of aware what needs to be done, but water utilities are not the greatest communicators. And Atlanta does not have good regional water management. I think there are 52 or 55 water utilities in the Atlanta metro region. So one thing to do would be to ask the question, do we have the right structure to manage the water that supplies all of these communities? That's a hard question. People don't like to give up their own water utility, but communities that manage water smartly often have regional water management, not each little community with 50,000 or 1.5 million people competing with all the other communities to secure their own water supply without worrying about everybody else. So that's one thing. A second thing is, I think that water leaders, water utility people, and business people, and also the political leadership could really help Atlanta by talking about reuse systems and putting in place the kinds of system you need to reuse the water you've already got. No one's ever sorry they have that cushion. And it's possible that Atlanta, that the Atlanta metro region, that North Georgia, that the 2 drought periods you've had in the last 10 years that have been so challenging and difficult to get through, that's actually what life's going to be like normally going forward. That's not going to be exceptional. That's going to be the new level of water availability. And I think Atlanta needs to be imagining a water culture 20 years from now that anticipates 20% less water than you typically get, while also supporting the kind of growth and energy that Atlanta's used to. So I would say, ask the question, is the water management structure in the community set up right? And what can we do to reuse the water we've already got to take pressure off the system and build a kind of insurance policy if these dry periods turn out to be not exceptional but routine?
Great. Thanks so much. That's
Perfect.
it.
Okay.